Hi, so this is day one of me coding every day. Um, I'm really trying to code every day just to start my learning journey and just really practice and get more hands-on. Um, I'm really recording just to kind of document my journey and then also keep myself accountable. I'm really gonna be focusing more on like lower level programming, like systems and embedded engineering and so on, stuff around that nature. I'm not really gonna do much today. It's a little late. I kind of got started a little late just because it took me a bit to get everything kind of set up and kind of going, I guess. But today I'm really just gonna be running through my current project I'm working on, and then kind of talking through that, and then also my plan for tomorrow's coding. So we can just get right into it real quick. So real quick, I'm just gonna go over this main. Oh, I'm just gonna go over this main um C++ file. Just so this was really just my testing and just kind of experimenting and really practicing working with sockets. So there's a lot of different um there's a lot of different comments going on. It was just me kind of practicing working with getting address info. Um, there's not really this is kind of working with sockets, but also not too much. It's really just kind of working with getting this address info, working with that struct, and then getting possible what's it called, like just details about it, like certain IP versions, address families, and so on. But this is the server so far. So my plan right now is to make a HTTP web server. Um, a pretty basic one, but so if we go through this real quick, sorry, that's bugging me. If we go through this real quick, it's kind of just a little bit of basic stuff. So just some um, just some initialization. Uh, no, just some. Yeah, sorry, took a little late, but basically, so I'm just gonna walk through the code pretty quickly. But this is basically just setting up that struct automatically, so I don't have to fill it up manually of an address info struct of the loopback address, which is port 8080, and then if there's an error and so on and so forth. And then this just kind of loops through that because um, this function, the address info, does technically return a um, linked list. So basically, just as good practice, I'm looping through this to check each one to see which one would be a valid socket, and then if the socket's valid, I'll bind it. I do notice a problem with this is that if the socket um, works, but the bind is unsuccessful, sometimes it'll pass through this, but since the socket was created, it kind of goes through here, then the listen all gets messed up and everything. So I will probably add in some error checking for that. I just don't have it in yet. But then I have just a listen out on that port for any clients, accept any clients, and then right now I just have it set to receive a certain buffer, so basically a message from the client. I did make a client initially just to test if the TDP or TCP server was working, if they're connecting and messages or stuff were being sent back and forth, and it was working. So now I'm trying to transition this into more of an HTTP web server, working with those HTTP requests and responses. Um, so right now I just kind of just have it as just a buffer and filling up that buffer. This is something I wrote today. It's just a basic, just like reply or like response to the HTTP request. It's just saying that the request was okay with the code status code 200 and then okay and so on. It's just something so the the client so to speak knows that the request went through. Um, but really right now it does look like C instead of C++, but my plan is to kind of just get it working, and then from there I do plan to kind of implement, or kind of not implement, but transition this more into that object-oriented programming. Just working on breaking these down, and then just kind of make a um, abstract it a little bit more, and then possibly I could use it for future projects or anything like that. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I do plan to use the object-oriented programming um, uh, priority, I guess, blanking of C++. But right now, so I'm just going to make this so it looks built. So the bind was successful. Y'all won't see this just yet, but I just opened it in the browser, and then basically I go back to my terminal, and this is that HTTP request I was talking about. And so my goal for tomorrow is just going to be parsing through this and getting any information that I would need. So like in this beginning header, it's a get. I do plan to only really implement the get for now. Um, so it'd be get and then any possible specific files. So if this was like slash, I don't know, index or something. So I plan to see that, check to see if there's any specific files requesting, and then I also plan to um, just kind of parse through that, and then also kind of look through this accept as well, just to make sure that the file that it's requesting is of whatever file it'll accept, like an HTML file, XML, or like any of these images, anything like that. So my goal tomorrow is to start working on that. I do plan to kind of start that object-oriented programming um, paradigm with this parsing function, just by making a header and then another file for this parsing function. But that will be tomorrow. I'll start working on that. Um, Today I was really just kind of running through that, just kind of just getting a little background on this current project, and then also my goals for this journey. And then, so like I said, I really only plan to kind of work on low level slash embedded um, system stuff. So like my previous, that I will probably end up optimizing or going through and kind of reformatting a little bit later. Um, was like a simple memory allocator where I kind of, in a way, like wrote my own kind of simple malloc function in C. And then other possible future projects are going to be some embedded projects like with an Arduino, and maybe move into like some ARM microcontrollers or like ESP32s and so on. And then as well as some more systems engineering stuff. Like I kind of plan to do like um, a digital file system, like my own kind of emulate, and then also like my own kind of operating system scheduler, stuff like that. So those are kind of my future projects I plan to kind of do, but right now I'm kind of starting at the basics, gonna work my way up. But yeah, that's kind of just it for today. Really just kind of getting a background going, and then really showing what this project, showing what this project is about. So whenever I start coding tomorrow, it doesn't seem like it's out of nowhere. I will be, even though this is the tiniest little thing, I will be adding this to my Git repository just to show that I did something for myself. But yeah, that's really gonna be it today.